Welcome to the Jedi Ranger. I'm John Bay 555, and today I'm going to be reviewing Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones. So this is a part of my project to rewatch and re-review every single Star Wars film. Well, in this case it's review because I've never actually properly reviewed Attack of the Clones before. I've done some shorts, but nothing proper like I've done for the Star Wars films that came out, well, starting with Rogue One. Didn't get anything before that. But let's actually talk about Attack of the Clones. So for me, this is actually probably my least favorite Star Wars film as a whole, and definitely my least favorite in the prequel trilogy. Part of that is because there are so many red flags about Anakin shown in this film. I'm like, how come Padme is totally fine with that? This very smart senator, totally fine. Is it really that she thinks I can fix him? Because that's the only thing that makes sense. And red flags. Murdering a bunch of Tusken Raiders. Staring at her. Okay, being awkward itself is not a red flag. But when you're, awkward and staring, even after she says, you're making me uncomfortable, and just a bunch of other stuff, it's like, how do you fall in love? It's like, I feel like the movie should have done a better job at portraying Anakin's positive qualities. Like, there's a scene where, they had pretty much just recently re-met, and here he is complaining about Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's very immature. There's another scene, too, where basically Anakin, however, is basically saying that he doesn't mind the dictatorship. And I feel like that should also be a red flag as well. But no, it's not. And that's my biggest problem is I don't see how Padme would be interested in Anakin. I do get the other way around, totally, but not that way. One, Anakin is portrayed as a young teenager, not an 18, 19-year-old as he actually is. And I do think their age gap should have been a bit closer. But that goes back to just my whole thing with there was a 5-year gap when they first met, and now a 5-year gap would be semi-okay. But again, I feel like some of this stuff could have been portrayed a lot better and in a way that would have made it much more understandable. In fact, that's what I really like about the Clone Wars as a show, was because you get to see why they, are actually into each other. And yes, they also show why eventually the relationship does, essentially fall apart. But I feel like here, George Lucas could have laid the groundwork for all that a little bit better. He done the perfect groundwork for showing why, Anakin is not really a great person in the long run, but not good enough in terms of setting up why Padme would be interested in such a person, besides the I can fix him mentality. But besides that, the rest of the film is actually pretty solid. There's some cut scenes that I kind of wish they included, such as Obi-Wan going to the droids in the temple to try to identify the Camino and Saber Dot, because as it is now, he just goes straight to Dexter Jester and says the droids couldn't say anything. And I feel like, not so great there, but hey, it still flows. What we'll need is told to us, but I do kind of like, more show versus tell in my storytelling. And as a part of that too, there's also a cutscene where basically Obi-Wan is briefly reflecting on Count Dooku, which I think would have been a great way to give maybe more insight into his character. But I can tell you one thing I really love though, is the fact that when Obi-Wan goes to Master Yoda about not being able to find Camino, Yoda's teaching a class and he says, lost a parent Obi-Wan has. Or it might be Master Kenobi, but how embarrassing. And I just love that. That mischievous side of Yoda that we really got to see a little bit in Empire Strikes Back. And I just love it when that comes to be shown on the screen. It just reminds us about that, and I love that. Also, can I say something? Everyone in the Order knows what's going on between Anakin and Padme. I know this is a common headcanon, people doing comics and YouTube videos making fun of that, but come on. Literally in this film, after the duel with Count Dooku, Padme runs up to Anakin and gives him a kiss with Obi-Wan and Yoda standing right there and a bunch of clones. Yes, the clones are probably not gossiping yet at this point, but come on, they will be gossiping. Everyone will know by the end of the war. I'm just saying. But there's several other things we can discuss. Small things here and there, but overall, I don't mind the film. It's just my least favorite because of how uncomfortable the romance is, and yes, there should be some uncomfortableness, but I feel like there's not enough positiveness in that to properly show why Anakin and Padme got together. Padme is portrayed as this, mature, as a go-getter. Like literally, there's a scene where her security basically says, "I'm not worried about Anakin. I'm worried about the senator doing something reckless." But the thing is while it could be reckless with some of the stuff Padme does, she's mature. Basically her security is being overly worried. But with Anakin, he is immature. He'll make mistakes, do courses of action based solely on how he feels in the moment, and he won't take a moment to step back and evaluate the entire situation. Like going to rescue Obi-Wan. Padme does it because no one will be able to get there in time to rescue Obi-Wan. And she evaluates the situation and takes the most logical course of action to actually successfully rescue Obi-Wan. Anakin was totally willing to do it, but he was probably, tired of getting in trouble with the Order. But hey, he was told to protect Padme at all costs, and if that includes rescuing Obi-Wan, so be it. But overall, like I said, I don't mind a good chunk of the film. It's just that romance could have been portrayed so much better and so much more in a way that I felt I would feel like it would understand why these two characters get together. Clone Wars did a way better job by that, as I already said. But that's pretty much what I'm going to say. Not too much about each individual plot elements as a whole, but there's many great small moments here and there that I won't get into because I want to keep the discussion going in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching my video. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to give this video a like and share. Also, consider subscribing to my channel to stay up to date on all my latest content. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good day, a good night, wherever you are. May the Force be with you, always.